and I was a Catholic monk who was greatly troubled by the problem of the Catholic Church. You see, during the 15th century, there was a lot of construction going on, and it seemed like everyone was just trying to one-up each other with the sizes of the churches they were building. It also didn't help how the clergy was so accustomed to their creature comforts and their privileges. Maintaining all of these was expensive, and fundraising was constant. And it sometimes even meant that the church had to do some shady things. So I finally said something about it. I finally complained about it. I finally said that I complained that the way we raised our funds was strange. And then I gathered all the things I said, and I wrote it down. And I delivered it to the Wittenberg Castle Church. But as I got there, no one was there. So I decided to just leave it on the floor. But as I walked away, I realized that the wind would just blow it away, and all of it would just be gone. So I nailed it to the door. Who'd have thought that the Pope would have taken that as an act of aggression? So they kicked me out.
After his excommunication, Martin Luther married an ex-nun and had 6 children. He was much more tolerant of the Christmas season than most other Protestant reformers, so he continued to celebrate it. However, there was one small caveat.
It's strange that we celebrate gift giving on the feast day of St. Nick, December 6th. See, I'm not much of a fan of saints of all the saints of the church, and I thought that giving gifts from St. Nick was childish. And so I established Christ Kind because I believed that Christ the child was a true gift giver. So I established Christ Kind, and I moved gift giving to December 25th.
Others were more strident in their approach toward Christmas. In John Calvin's Geneva and Ulrich Zurich's Zurich, only Saturdays were observed as days of worship. The other feast days and saints' days ordained by Rome were abolished. In a sermon delivered on Christmas Day, 1551, Calvin noticed that there were more people in the congregation than on other Sundays, so he warned them that by elevating Christmas to other days of worship, they risked turning it into an idol. And if that wasn't enough, in 1647, the English Parliament passed a law making Christmas illegal, and those caught celebrating were fined 5 shillings. A Puritan leader named Oliver Cromwell thought that feasting and revelry on what was supposed to be a holy day was immoral, popish, and a wasteful tradition. Taking that as their lead, the Pilgrims banned any outdoor celebration of Christmas in 1620, and violators were subject to stiff fines. In 1659, Christmas observance was outlawed in Boston, and after the Revolutionary War, Christmas in the colonies was of such little consequence that Congress didn't even bother taking the day off to celebrate the holiday, deciding instead to hold its feast session on Christmas Day, 1789. The Catholics, as well as many others, still observe this day as a commemoration for the Lord's birth, and Christmas began to gain in popularity. By 1870, December 25th was declared a federal holiday in the United States.
Unfortunately, after the legalization of Christmas, business people saw this holiday as a potential for profit. See, the problem with that was that some of the business people were Protestants, which meant that the concessions they gave out were given in the form of loosening up the restrictions of celebrating Christmas. But doesn't that sound a lot like indulgences? They say money talks, but when it comes to the church, it teaches and preaches too.